I had never heard it before, but it was like, what on earth is a functional nutritionist? And I was researching, like, what is this? Turned out that a chiropractor I was seeing happened to be a functional nutritionist after I researched and realized, oh, this is something I want to do. And so he had headed me in the right direction to change some of the things I was doing so that I could lose weight naturally. And I was super happy with him. We had one consultation, and then he allowed me to send him some emails to ask some questions as I had them. And I only had a few questions, so I wasn't too much of a bother to him. But one of the things that I found was that I really didn't have to make huge changes. A lot of the things I had already done prior, because of my best friend, who with her very healthy eating habits had gradually kind of put me in that direction anyway. I really, really liked vegetables. I really liked eating meats and had done keto in the past. And so I was kind of in that direction already. And so for me, it was mainly about cutting out sugars, the breads, and any kind of sweet stuff, and that that type of thing. So trying to change my food that way was where I personally had to maybe adjust. Other people might have to make other adjustments, but that's why you go see your functional nutritionist and you have that conversation. But that was a great investment in my life, and I can't wait to get back on track now that my life has resumed some semblance of normal. But one of the things initially, because I have a sweet tooth. I was raised by a mama who was all about baking pies and cakes, and that was my childhood. It was all about the desserts. So one of the things I found as a substitute was heavy whipping cream whipped with organic monk fruit, which again, my best friend, the one who put me on the Pamela's products, was the one who introduced me to organic monk fruit drops. 2 or 3 drops, a little bit of nothing in that ready whip with some strawberries or blueberries, and that took care of my sweet tooth. And oh my goodness, I loved it. And there got to a point where I didn't even need that. I didn't need sweets whatsoever, but oh my goodness, loved it. Functional nutrition, which I believe
Yes.
you know something about.
Yes, I would highly recommend if someone was dealing with a health journey and they were at the beginning, kind of like staring at the beginning of autoimmune diagnosis, things like this. I love the idea of going to functional medicine practitioners. So anybody who kind of has that beginning title, so functional medicine doctor, functional medicine nutritionist, chiropractor, things like that, what they're going to be looking at is the body as a whole. So what I mentioned earlier in my story about my mother when she had migraines, gut issues, and the hernia, she ended up at 3 different doctors. And none of those people were functional medicine doctors because they were not looking at the body as a whole. They were saying, okay, you have migraines, we'll treat the head. Okay, you have gut issues, we'll treat the gut. When you go to functional medicine doctors, they look at you as a whole entire picture. They look at your hormones as a whole. They look at your energy as a whole. And they ask you questions like, what is your sleep like? What is your stress like? Can you alleviate stress in anywhere in your life? Can you increase your sleep hours? They will work on those functional or foundational issues. And then when you look for a foundation or a functional nutritionist, they'll help guide you on more of like the food and the diet side of things, where the doctors are going to be able to prescribe medication